You're watching Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey here with some news to begin your fine morning, or maybe you're in the afternoon depending on what time zone and when exactly you watch this video. But the news of the morning, Mike Davis has agreed to a deal with the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to break this down in depth here momentarily, but if you want to show some support for the newest Raven, like the video right now. Let's see just how many people are happy to have Mike Davis here. People are telling me he's probably watching this video, so show your support by liking it right now. Now, the Ravens have agreed to a deal with Davis. At this time, we do not know the full contract details. I've got a theory we'll get into later on. Davis had recently been cut by the Atlanta Falcons. They had signed Cordero Patterson. They draft Tyler Algier. Davis ends up getting cut and is now on yet another new team with the Panthers, Falcons, and now the Ravens. The hype for Davis was very real last year, entering his first season with the Atlanta Falcons. He didn't play that great. 500 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, but on 138 carries. That is a paltry 3.6 average. Not what you're hoping for out of the guy that was supposed to be the Falcons' lead back. But yes, we can certainly blame the offensive line a decent amount for that as well. Davis does offer third down value. 44 catches, only 259 yards, so there was a lot of check down stuff there again. The Falcons' offense was not particularly great last season, but I will make this point. I thought Mike Davis played better in 2020 overall, back when he was with the Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. Davis actually fared okay. He fared pretty well in 2018 as well. He has always been a rotation piece. He's never been a 200, 250 workhorse, carry the load type of guy. But as a second or third back on your roster, I think you feel pretty good about what he's able to do. I am curious what this means for the Ravens roster as a whole. We'll spend some more time on that with the running back side. But as to my teased theory about the contract, I would wager all of the money that I own, all $14 of it, that I expect this to be a cheap one-year deal for the Ravens. I think this is going to be 1 year, maybe $1.5 million maximum, probably not that much guaranteed, and I would guess that there isn't a full guarantee of Davis making the roster, although I do think he does make it, given A, how much the Ravens want to run the football, and how quickly they moved, for the most part, to add Davis following his release last week by the Atlanta Falcons. So assuming it is a cheap one-year deal, grade the signing for me. A, B, C, D, or F. The Ravens had expressed interest in Melvin Gordon. They ended up not going that route in the end. So I'm curious what you guys have to say. Grade the signing of Mike Davis. A, B, C, D, or F. This will be the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Now, the Ravens right now have a roster crunch at the running back position. There are too many guys on this roster who have made it or could make the team to actually all make it. You've got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards coming off of the injury season from hell for the Ravens last year. Now you add Mike Davis. You draft Tyler Beatty, a.k.a. Tyler Batty, because it's a way more fun name to say. Tyson Williams, the very brief hype around him was fun. That ended up not panning out very well. You kept Nate McCreary, you add a UDFA in Ricky Person from NC State, and you have Justice Hill on your roster. You go 6 deep with investments in draft picks, signings, or players who were on your roster last year. I think in particular, this does not set up very well for Justice Hill. If the Ravens carry 4 and there are no more injuries, knock on wood, I would assume Tyler Beatty makes that spot because they just drafted him and they invested in him at a similar-ish range to what they did with Justice Hill, but he, in his career, 28 games, 285 carries, 2 touchdowns. He's not been that special in the end. So players probably are going to get cut at running back. I am asking you to give me at least one name who you think ends up getting cut by the Ravens. Let me know in the comments section. Now, of course, this Mike Davis news comes after our Ravens trade and cut candidates video. Look who that is right there. Justice Hill, he was already on the roster bubble. At least we thought he was here at Chat Sports, and I think that continues. If you didn't watch that video, well, make sure you're subscribed. We do Ravens videos every single day for you guys, or almost every day. When news happens, we break it down, plus rumors, we do mailbags. We've got you guys covered with one of the fastest growing Ravens YouTube channels out there. Hit that big red button and subscribe at youtube.com/RavensTV. Time for the second half of today's video. The Ravens schedule allegedly has leaked on Twitter. Now, I do want to emphasize the allegedly part because we are over 2 days away from the schedule being announced, and it comes from No Way Owe and Wear Purple Pants on Twitter. It could be real. It could not be real. I've got some problems with this schedule. Producer Jeremy desperately wants it to be real because he likes the way it sets up for the Ravens. But we'll go through it, acknowledging it is a leak, and it may or may not be real. But if it's real, we know the schedule, which is pretty cool. So week 1 at the Bengals. That would be a 1 p.m. game. That certainly makes sense. The NFL likes to open up and end the year with a bunch of conference games, so that I buy that there. Week 2 at the Browns, which hypothetically could feature a game that doesn't have Deshaun Watson, which would benefit in the end the Ravens, although 2 straight road games to open up. Then week 3, home against the Carolina Panthers. Now, issue number 1 arises with this game. The Orioles are also at home in week 3 on that Sunday at almost the exact same time, which would go against what typically doesn't happen for Baltimore games. The Orioles and Ravens at home. I think you remember the 2013 kerfluffle after the Super Bowl, etc. So that's like the red flag of, now wait a minute, is it real or is it fake? I will make note that at least the teams all match up correctly. Here's the Ravens' first primetime game, which would be an awesome one, home against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. And then week 5 at the New York Jets, a 1 p.m. matchup on that one. Remember the crossover games, the extra games, etc. All right, week 6, home against the Atlanta Falcons. By the way, this should be like 3 or 4 straight wins in this little batch here for the Ravens. The Broncos in week 7, this would be the Russell Wilson game. Again, a 1 p.m. game, East Coast, that makes sense. At the Saints, 4 p.m., so a couple of nice little run of home games. They play 4 or 5 at home, and then they go back on the road back-to-back at the Saints and at the New England Patriots. One quick aside here, and we knew this going in, kind of nice for the Ravens to not have to travel that much. The Steelers got stupid lucky this year, but the Ravens don't have that many out-of-time zone games. Speaking of the Steelers, they play in Week 10 as the Ravens now only have 3 conference games at this point. We're going to keep going, but you guys can make this prediction right now because you know the opponents and whatnot. What will be the Ravens' record this season? Are they going to bounce back now that they hopefully won't be cursed by injuries, or is the AFC North too tough? I think 10, 11, 12 wins is very much in the range of outcomes for the Ravens. So make that prediction for me. What will be the Ravens' record this season? All right, Week 11 at the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. This is issue number 2. The Bucs play in Germany in Week 10. And in most cases, not all, but in most, when you travel overseas, your next week, you take the bye week. Now, last year there was an example where that did not happen. It's also a home game on Monday Night Football, but Week 11 is also a really good bye week for a team to take right smack dab in the middle towards the back end. So that's like your second red flag as it relates to the Ravens schedule. But maybe the Bucs don't want to bye. Maybe they want to have Monday Night Football and take their bye in Week 12, which is where the Ravens have their bye week, giving them a little bit of a, or at least in this leak, I should say. We'll keep putting leak in quotation marks there, which benefits them if it is true, because then they have their short week on Thursday Night Football. So the timing actually, I think, works out pretty well here for the bye, as opposed to going Sunday, Thursday. You would then have extra time off on Monday Night Football before you play the Bengals on Thursday Night Football, a primetime game there in Week 11 and in Week 13. That would be the last of the Ravens primetime games in this leak example. Week 14 at the New York Giants. Yes, the Ravens are playing both New York teams on the road. Welcome to how the schedule actually does work out this year. If the weeks and times are right, we'll see. Week 15 at the Jacksonville Jags. That should be an easy win. They're a bad team, and you're not the Colts in Week 18. The Dolphins in Week 16, and then the Ravens wrap up with what the NFL loves to do. Let's get some conference games to add drama down the stretch. At the Steelers, 4 p.m. slot would be pretty interesting, but that's also a potential juicy matchup, so I get it. And then at Week 18, the Browns, and a lot of those games are going to be slotted in for 1 p.m. because the time's a little bit more TBD on that front. So what do you guys think? Is this schedule real? Y for yes, N for no. Producer Jeremy believes it. I'm not so sure, so we'll leave it up to you, the people. Is this Ravens leak real or not? Y for yes, N for no. When the Ravens actually announce their official schedule, we will do a video on that, and it won't be the leak side of it, although we've seen leaks happen before. It does happen. There's too many people know what's going on to not have it get out in some capacity. Make sure you guys are subscribed to us here at Ravens Rundown. It's youtube.com/RavensTV for all the latest and greatest Ravens videos here on YouTube.